The people I feel most sorry about are the trolls who their hopes are just built and built and built, and it's like, yes, and then it doesn't happen. Right. So I feel sorry for them. Genuinely, I do. I mean that.
I do believe you, Harry. You must really feel sorry for the trolls, the documentary that you obviously thwarted with your legal team. Quiet on set. Quiet on set. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Wow, do I have a doozy for you today. I'm giving you a 2-for-1 hot take special. Between the Harry's DealBook New York Times interview summit and the German documentary, I have some opinions. But don't forget to press subscribe so that you can see when I come out with my next video that I'm working on. Let's first of all start off with Harry's interview.
So you were saying you don't read about yourself at all?
Now I do when I need to.
How do you know when you need to?
Because there are people in my team who come to me with certain things and say, would you like us to deal with this, would you not? But I would say 98% of the utter nonsense that is written, I either don't know about or I just have to ignore because there's actually nothing that one can do about it.
So tell me what you all think down in the comments. Do you think that Harry is being honest when he said he does not read the tabloids and he does not read anything about himself, but also he does? And I did appreciate Andrew, the interviewer, challenging him on that a little bit and saying, but how do you know then if they're talking about you if you don't read the tabloids and you don't read the press? Yeah, okay, that was the very bare minimum that Andrew does in this whole interview. Andrew is a chosen outlet for Harry. He has certain outlets, and I think we've been talking about this ever since the Oprah interview. Oprah has sort of compiled, paid off, some might say allegedly for legal purposes, certain entities to be favorable to Meghan and Harry, and this is one of them. But we're gonna get into it. I'm jumping ahead of myself, right?
First of all, I wouldn't be here if I thought that you were one of them.
Well, thank you.
Just so we're absolutely clear.
This is all orchestrated, which is why I have my director costume on, and my shirt actually says, it's fine, we'll fix it in post-production. It can be edited, it can be cropped, it can be puff-pieced. We've seen so many puff pieces from this Harkles duo, and we just wonder why. Anyway, let's keep going.
What is the goal of this lawsuit, which has been ongoing now for a very, very long time?
The goal is accountability. It's really that simple.
But what does that mean?
That means that, unfortunately, the scale of the cover-up is so large that people need to see it for themselves.
Very good question. Harry has no accountability. Meghan has no accountability. They made false accusations against the royal family. They never at any point came back and said, look, we didn't mean that. I mean, Harry tried to pretend it didn't happen for some reason on Oprah.
Talk about accountability. In the Oprah interview, you accused members of your family of racism. You don't even,
the British press said that. Did Meghan ever mention they were racist?
A few moments ago.
Why should your girlfriend be treated any differently? Why should you get special treatment? Why should she be protected? And I said the difference here is the race element.
Did you leave the country because of racism?
It was a large part of it.
And if a member of his family will comfortably say, we've all had to deal with things that are rude and racist are not the same.
Why have they never had accountability for themselves? And why can't we call out their lack of accountability, but then they can hold the media outlets accountable and say they have no accountability? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel crazy. I feel very crazy in this interview because if half in, half out was a person, it would be Harry. He comes with one thing and he takes it back, and then he comes another thing and he takes it back. He is literally half in, half out. He has made that personality for himself. And I have no idea what he's saying most of the time, but I'm trying to decipher it for us. Okay. He cannot be told that he should have accountability. The Sussex Squad and all of these other entities that have been created online, he cannot disavow them, even though they allegedly go around threatening people. All he has to do really is come out and say, calm down, please stop attacking people. He doesn't want to do that, but he will go after, vengefully, anyone who says anything negative about him and also wants to silence not only media, mainstream media, but also social media. And social media is very interesting to me when it comes to Harry, because if he's saying that there's this machine of propaganda against him only in mainstream media, then why are we YouTubers out here with platforms and genres at this point just talking about Meghan and Harry? Because we're not being paid. Like, no one's paying me. Russia's not paying me, honey. Like some other YouTubers are getting paid. That's just a side note. But yeah, nobody's paying me from mainstream media to talk about what I think and calling out what I think should be called out. How are you so self-unaware that you don't realize that something is wrong? Maybe you should read the comments, Harry.
In terms of that accountability, just so I understand it.
Do you remember when I said I couldn't talk about it?
Yeah.
He won't even explain what accountability is, and that is going back to what I just said. He doesn't know what accountability is. He has never experienced it himself. He's tried to destroy the royal family to the point where the German documentary even speaks about it. Well, we're going to get into that in a minute. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. He has a lot of accountability to be accountable for.
What is the goal of this lawsuit, which has been ongoing now for a very, very long time?
The goal is accountability. It's really that simple.
And to be honest with you, I feel that somewhere down inside of his soul, he knows he's wrong because he's very uncomfortable in this interview. He's very twitchy. He tries to involve the audience, which is a tactic that is trained in media, to involve the audience, try to get them on your side.
By raise of hands, who thinks that they should be held accountable and there should be transparency for the social media industry? That's wonderful. Phew.
It is very important to realize from the get-go that Harry should really not be speaking on any platform. He's not qualified. He's not equipped. He's very defensive. He's not comfortable. I mean, even for his own sake, he does not seem very comfortable. This seems like torture to him because he knows that he is talking above his pay grade. He's talking about things he should not talk about, mainly therapy, which, by the way, I don't think he's in therapy, guys. Put down in the comments what you think. But I think that Meghan Markle is his therapist. The way he talks about therapy is very much in the past tense. It's very much in an abstract way. And he almost tokenizes it as though somebody would when they're not actually in therapy. And then there's also the fact that he's uncomfortable talking about his wife, almost as though he wants it to be an issue. He wants it to be a clickbait. Is he saying or he's not saying what's really going on in their marriage? Just watch and see.
Your wife, Meghan, came here and we spoke in 2021. And one of the things that she said was...
Did you have this carpet?
I don't know if we had this carpet. This is good carpet.
See, things.
I think we've upgraded. We might have upgraded on the carpet.
That's good.
Deflection alert, which makes the media go crazy. So do you want the attention or do you not?
But one of the things that she said was she thought there should be a cigarette warning on social media then. And
yeah, I agree with Meghan Markle on that one. There should be warnings on things, especially on Spare, so that children do not have to read about abuse and use of substances.
You live here now. What do you think of the First Amendment?
There's no way I'm going to talk about that.
Why not, I wonder? I'm sure that most of you remember the bonkers comment. If you don't, let's listen to it again.
I don't want to start sort of going down the First Amendment route because that's a huge subject and one of which I don't understand because I've only been here for a short period of time. But you can find a loophole in anything.
Yeah.
I got so much I want to say about the First Amendment. I still don't understand it, but it is bonkers.
United States of America, lend me your ears. The very First Amendment, the freedom of speech. If he thinks it's bonkers, why is he living in the United States of America? And now he can't even have the humility to discuss it and maybe retract it a little bit, because there are restrictions on the freedom of speech amendment. There are certain restrictions on it. If he really is trying to silence people, why is he living in America? Well, he's living in America, ladies and gentlemen, because he was running from something. Remember the freedom flight?
We were running from something. Quite a few things, actually.
Well, if you're running from something, give up the titles. I present to you the next line of this pantomime.
Whether you plan to remain here with us in the U.S.
I do. I very much enjoy living here and bringing my kids up here. it's a part of my life that I never thought I was going to live. And I feel as though it's the life that my mum wanted for me. And to be able to do the things that I am able to do with my kids that I undoubtedly wouldn't be able to do in the UK is huge. And that's a fantastic opportunity. I'm hugely grateful for that.
There it is. The final verdict. He's not moving back to the UK, guys. Sanctioned by his mother, Princess Diana, from the grave. She has told him that he needs to stay in the United States of America, so you know he's serious about it. Because he doesn't draw for Diana, of course, unless it's necessary.
I was 1 year old. I was 1 year old when you danced with my mum. As you told everybody here, we'll continue to dine out on that probably every single night.
But anyway, funny he said that. His life is so enriched by living in America because he's able to do these things with his children, etc., etc. Because we're moving into the German documentary now. So, Act 2, Scene 1, I guess. Girl. The German documentary was such a nothing burger. I think we're going to get rid of that term for 2025, but it's giving these people were not professionals. They were doing things above their pay grade. Also, can we cancel It's Giving for 2025 as well? But anyway, it is giving that these people, the documentors, were not really acting in a professional capacity. They should have had a legal team set up, because literally what happened here, according to the rumors, allegedly, is that the legal team of Meghan and Harry came to the documentary in Germany and was like, listen, whatever you're trying to do here, you need to not do it. And as a result, the German documentary comes across very conflicting, very contradictory. The biggest bombshell from the German documentary, spoiler alert once again, is that a neighbor in Montecito, who is of British descent or something, he has a British accent, actually found that they are not participating in community and they are never seen and their children are never seen.
It looks like Meghan Markle has rubbed one of her neighbors the wrong way. Richard Maynards, a man who lives close to the Duchess of Sussex in Montecito, California, told the Daily Mail, quote, I personally don't think that Meghan is an asset to our community. He elaborated that, quote, she doesn't really go out or get involved with the community. However, Richard has different feelings when it comes to Meghan's husband, Prince Harry, describing him as, quote, quite jolly. He concluded saying that Meghan and Harry just aren't seen out often in the community. Well, I guess we won't be seeing them on the HOA committee anytime soon.
That was actually the most negative part of the documentary, which all of us here were thinking there was going to be this huge revelation in this documentary. All of the questions would be answered about all the things I'm going to talk about that were not answered. It was not a comprehensive documentary. Overall, journalists interviewed were in favor of Meghan and Harry. The journalists were either Meghan and Harry apologists or they were Empire 2.0ists, you know what I mean? And in the documentary, they were promoting Meghan and Harry as influencers and people who had really good intentions. At the same time, they would bring up allegations of bullying on Meghan's part, but they were just dancing around these subjects, the negative subjects. They sort of danced around, they softened them. Most egregiously, they said that Prince Harry is more popular in the US. Girl, what? I'm shocked that they had the gall to say that. They didn't bring up the African parks, of course, which Harry is in a scandal about. They didn't bring up the surrogacy issues. That would mean treason if the children are in the line of succession. They didn't dig very deeply. They didn't find anybody to interview that could give them any insight, which is really what people were expecting. In July, the documentary was supposed to be released, and then everything changed. And the documentary changed into a puff piece because Meghan and Harry really are litigious, and that could scare people, especially people who are not used to lawsuits. Like people in other countries who are not used to the American way of suing everyone would be very scared if a legal team like Meghan and Harry's would come to them and say, show us what you're working with. Okay, cease and desist. I mean, it is very obvious that that is what people will think happened because this documentary was really poor. They couldn't even use, or they didn't have the use of pictures. We've seen all these pictures before. You know, there's this one of her and Archie, black and white. These are Miss Anne Harriman photos, I believe. There's a pregnancy one with the pregnancy high up here. There's the birthday with Doria, quite sad looking. looking. A lot of this was Netflix pictures. There's this one, also part of Netflix, I think, when Harry is going to the UK for something. There's this one here in a nursery holding her stomach, because when she was pregnant, as you know, her hand was absolutely attached to her stomach. It was glued with super glue there and it could not be removed. There's this one, thank goodness the children are born. And so she has a picture of a birthday, again, very lonely looking, very sad looking. We've seen these photos. And then this one with her. All of these pictures we've seen a million times. Could you tell me how a documentary that had so much hype about it could not produce a single still that we have not seen before? It's a very poor job that they did. I'm sorry, it is. I was expecting a lot, but it's not giving. We're not supposed to use that in 2025, but it's still 2024. Anyways, I just had to jump on here and give you my hot take. So that's basically all I had to say today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you like this video, please press the subscribe button so you see when I come up with my next video, and press the bell notification and like this video if you did like it. I love you all so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.